I want to welcome Shannan Palonis, who is Robofest coordinator at Lawrence Technological University. Shannan, I want to start. Robofest is a robotics competition that starts as young as fourth grade and has one college competition. Really, the meat of it, though, is from grades 5 through 12 for the robotics competitions. So assume, Shannan, that nobody has ever heard of Robofest before. So tell us first, what is Robofest?
All right, Robofest is, like you said, a competition of autonomous robots. It's a little different than some of the other ones you might see on television that have the big blades and the fire spitting. No, we don't do any of that. These are robotics kits. Lego has kits. There's other companies that sell robot kits that are small. They fit in about the size of a shoebox. The students program robots to do many things, autonomous. There's no controllers that are, run by hands. They're all on, it's all coded. So we have several categories of events. There's game style and there's exhibition style, where students can pretty much create any project that they would like to solve using robots. But the game are fixed rules where they have a series of months to prepare, and then they go to a qualifier. And then if they win the qualifier, they will advance up to the World Championship. So teams are small. 5 students is the maximum. We do encourage small teams for all of our categories. And we have a lot of our rules are uploaded already for this coming season, which starts in February and runs through the end of April. And then the World Championship is on Lawrence Tech's campus in May. And this is an international competition. We have about 12 or 13 countries that are involved right now in the Robofest competitions.
So the most popular competition in Robofest is the game competition, and
Yes.
that changes every year in order to keep things fresh. So describe to us what this year's game is all about.
This year's game, the robots have to, it's all simulation. We have a simulation of a port, a supply chain port, and the robot basically has to come in and clear things out, move things around, stack items, push items off the table. According to the unknown factors, we give out 30 minutes before the rounds are done. So the teams know like 85 to 90% of the parameters of the event. But at the last, at the event site, we hand them some unknown factors that they have to reprogram their robots to accomplish these tasks. So the supply chain challenge is kind of timely. Last year, or 2 years ago, when we first started with the pandemic, our game was to move toilet paper rolls and stack them. So we try to keep it fun, we try to keep it entertaining, but it's definitely the focus is on the education, the learning of the physics, the geometry, the programming of the robots.
It was probably difficult back during the pandemic just finding toilet paper to have the robot stack, right? So
it was after the wave had subsided a little bit. So
that was crazy. I never understood. It was a lung disease and everyone's running out to buy toilet paper.
It was actually a supply chain issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So but anyway, Matt was saying too before we started, I'm going to leap in here, that these are like these are robots for like manufacturing, supply chain, practical business applications versus some of these crazy contests, right?
Well, yeah, we really like to keep it small. Our game field is like a 6-foot table. We don't have big arenas and things. Our game field materials are, this year it's tennis balls and batteries and pop cans. So we try to keep things pretty reasonable, but the idea, the concepts are, you could take what you're learning and then move into any type of educational setting, knowing some good things. This is all about the workforce development and preparing students for higher education as well.
Right, and the game this year, what you're doing is you are moving inventory from a warehouse into a store, and then you're moving other things that represent inventory off of a pretend ship into a pretend warehouse, and then you're clearing obstacles out of the way.
Yes,
that might block you from doing that. So it's all pretty, it's virtual, but it's at the same time It's, stuff that people talk about every day, the supply chain issues that we've had during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Another really interesting part of the competition to me is sort of the open division, the exhibition division, where students can think up any task that they can think up that a robot might accomplish, and have a robot design and build a robot to accomplish that task. I've seen robots do everything from like picking crops to putting out fires, all sorts of interesting ideas. Talk a little bit about that if you could.
Sure, yeah. The exhibition, and we have a couple of other exhibition style competitions. One is specific to biomedical engineering, and one is specific to the arts, kinetic and performing arts, puppetry, things like that. But the exhibition qualifier is basically an open science fair with robotics. Students can choose any problem they want to solve, and they solve it with the autonomous robots. They have to use sensors, so the robots have to, sense colors or things like that. So we definitely encourage the math to be the level of the students. We don't expect younger students to be able to do, calculus in the college level, but so the rubric is rated. So the students are graded or judged based on their capabilities. Last year, one of the most interesting ones was the cornhole, which everybody is still talking about. The robot had physics trajectories, things, and it was actually pretty competitive in a cornhole competition. So, but we've had lots of different ones, students feeding zoo animals and clearing out waste and helping people find their location in a tragedy situation where they have to go into a shelter, and if the robot would sense if they had a special food requirement or meal plan or things like that. So it's really it's open to the fact that the students really have complete decision-making ability to solve any problem, and it's fascinating to watch these young students make their magic. It's amazing.
And according to, I'm going back to the notes that you submitted, right now, the basic mechanics are going on. Teams and sites are forming. Free registration is open. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We just kicked off our 2023 season. We uploaded the rules. We're in the process of going through some kickoff meetings to review the rules with our international partners and local site hosts that do this every year. We might tweak them a little bit as we answer questions. We might have to make a few adjustments, but then the rules will be finalized in mid-January. Open registration is open for preseason right now. We offer registration if you want to get your team started. You just have to join us on robofest.net and register as a coach, and then your team registration is right there. We offer workshops in the spring for registered game teams. So if you have a new team that you wanted to start, we offer support with in-house workshops on campus. We also have a lot of information on our website. We have an e-academy. So if you have a team that's just getting started or wants to learn something new, there's a lot of information on our website. Or you can always call the office. Our phone number is all over our website as well.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what the competition needs in terms of volunteers and people running the competitions. Are you pretty much all set on that, or did you need people to volunteer to step forward? And what about sponsorship opportunities?
Okay, first of all, sponsorship opportunities, let me go back a little bit and say thank you very much to Kathleen. MCWT is one of our major sponsors. They sponsor women all-girl Robofest teams in Michigan every year. So I really would like to go back and say thanks to her. I'm one of your earlier guests. So we also have openings for volunteer sites. If you have an organization that wants to host a site, we just need like a gym. It doesn't take a lot. We don't need a lot of fancy footwork there. We just need some space, and we have a minimum of 5 teams. So it really wouldn't even need to be a large space if you had a small location. And then we also are always looking for volunteers for the World Championship event in May on campus. So if you have any interest, want to help judging, or even just moving students from one location to another, like an ambassador type thing, we are always looking for people.
And that'll be the first time you'll be live since 19 or 20?
19 was our last in-person World
Wow.
Championship. Yeah, we actually maintained our season structure. It was delayed a bit the first year and the second year, but we've been actually one of the only competitions that was able to maintain a full season online for the last 3 years, and we're very proud of that. We had a lot of meetings, a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, because everything was synchronous. We didn't just do something like submit us a video and we'll judge you later. We had live online events, international events every Friday and Saturday for like 6 weeks. And thanks to Matt, he actually emceed our World Championship event, the award ceremony last year.
Yeah, and it was interesting dealing with 12 and 13-hour time differences with China and Japan, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's always fun.
So they called you Mr.
events-
Roboto then, Matt? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, or no?
Well, speaking of live events, Shannan, tell us about the meeting coming up next week, where people can attend a kickoff meeting in person if they like, or watch it on Zoom like this.
Sure. Yeah, it's Thursday night this week, the 3rd. The Zoom link is on our webpage, the very first page, our homepage. At 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, we will be reviewing the general rules, which includes, how to become a site host, how to be a judge, how to be a coach, things like that. And then we will also, at the end of the meeting, talk about the game specific rules for this year. That's where we get the most questions, because those are the ones that do change every season. So then we'll upload any comments or changes to those rules. And then, like I said, everything finalizes in January of, I want to say the 7th or 8th of January, we'll be finalizing and locking down all the US and World Championship rules for the game.
Okay.
All right. Well, and that's one of the most interesting things to me about this competition too, is that there are some things you throw at the kids with 30 minutes before the competition to go. Like the location of the obstacles, or I don't know what the unknown factors might be this year, but they have to be able to write code on the fly to deal with those factors. Mm-hmm. And to watch them do this stuff when they're in the 5th grade, it's inspiring and terrifying at the same time. So
yeah, and when they graduate, they'll walk into 6-figure salaries, right?
Yeah.
That's the hope. That's the hope. We also offer Lawrence Tech scholarships too for students that participate in Robofest and attend Lawrence Tech. So it's a $3,000 renewable annual scholarship for anyone that participates and then ends up attending the university here. We have an amazing undergraduate and graduate level computer science program. Lots of new things every year. Cybersecurity, AI, autonomous vehicles, all those things are in our curriculum. So we would love to have more Robofest students join us at Lawrence Tech to study computer science and engineering.
Okay, and Shannan, the website for Robofest is?
Robofest.net.